Since we opened May 22nd, we've had no fans in the grandstand. There are no customers. There are no guests in our casino. There are no guests in our turf club. There's nobody from the public here watching racing. We focused on a digital distribution of our product through advanced deposit wagering companies around the country, through the few OTBs around the country that are going, because we didn't have any attendance. As of 2 days ago, we've been given the opportunity to put 50% occupancy in our turf club and jockey club. So that means we'll have, several hundred people here, socially distanced, wearing masks, being temp checked, going through all these protocols. That'll start on the 19th, but we've been going since March 15th with hardly any revenue at all. I mean, we took advantage of the PPP program, and Ruidoso Downs carries 110 to 120 employees year-round. When we shut down the casino, we kept everybody on. And that was the decision by the owners immediately. We need these people in the summertime when we get back to racing. This was our position then. We got to keep these people on. We were hearing maybe a couple of weeks later that there might be a government program. In fact, it happened. We took advantage of that. We did receive a PPP loan. That will help us stem some of the losses, but that's a balance sheet thing, right? Our cash flow here is the issue. And so, our goal is to keep this thing on track for the long term for the business, as I mentioned. Short term, we're going to take the hits where we get them. We've taken advantage of the federal programs, and we'll continue to. But it's all about maintaining the business and maintaining the track that we're on. The way our business model is, on-track handle returns to the racetrack and to the horseman at a much higher rate than it does when it's handled from another state or from an online wagering company. Just the dynamics of the business. So typically we have, out of total handle, in the neighborhood of 15% return from everything. During these first 3 weeks of racing, we've had about 3.5% return on total handle. And while our handle has increased, it doesn't take a whole lot of math to figure out we need to generate some revenue. And so getting the fans here, even in a limited number, even at what will amount to about 10% of our total capacity, that'll help us raise our revenue rates a couple of 3 points. And we'll look for the time that we can expand to the grandstand level as well as into the casino to really get our revenue jump-started. We have a facility across the property. It has a circular drive and a porte-cochere out front. We have tellers there, and a person can drive up, roll down their window, tell a bet to the mutual teller there, get the ticket, pay for the bet, and go home and watch it. Come back the next day or later that same day and cash the wager. There's probably 30% of the total horse population here that comes from Texas and Oklahoma, race meets that are running there. Am I going to be able to train? Am I going to lose horses? Are owners going to quit? How long is this going to last? Those were all the questions in their minds. Traveling wasn't part of their issue. Their issue is we need to keep these horses in training. We need to be doing gate works. I don't have to tell you that in March and April, in horse racing, all the 2-year-olds are getting ready. And especially true for New Mexico, because we have these big 2-year-old races here. Horsemen were concerned about keeping their horses on track.
It's tough on the owners. They bless us and they keep us in training their horses and pay, and then it's tough for them not to be here. But there's some rules are rules, and sometimes you got to stick with them. But sometimes a person's got to get over the step and go to the next deal. This facility's got to get fans, and they got to get the owners back, and we got to be able to get betting, and that's what makes this a good business. It's a good industry, and it makes money for every town we're in, and it makes money for the owners, and that's why they can supply us with this kind of facility. And we enjoy being here, so we need to be here, and we need to be full of fans, because this is a really awesome place for the summer, and this place gets really packed, and there's nothing like it. I rode for 25 years, and there's nothing like hearing them screaming for you. It's the greatest feeling in the world.
Oh yeah, I was very concerned, because I was in Texas and well, I still am, but they had stopped and everybody was stopping, and a lot of people wanted to quit, and it was getting bad. But thank God that everything's starting to get back in gear and keep going. In the mornings it feels the same, but with everything opening back and here in Texas, Louisiana, everywhere, it's kind of hectic. Everybody wants to come back and everybody needs to do their job, and it's kind of hectic. You need to be back and forth, but I mean it's part of the game.
We're in uncharted territory right now because this place has operated year-round through the casino and through live racing for at least the last 20 years, and seasonally with live racing for more than 70 years. Fortunately, we have owners of this racetrack that are committed to the industry, committed to the business. They're horsemen, they are owners and breeders, and they're actively involved in horse racing on a daily basis. They're supportive of this racetrack, and they take a long-term view. We all know we're going to have a pretty ugly balance sheet by the end of the year, and maybe it extends for a couple of years. But in my conversations with them and in their direction to me is stay the course, do your best, do what it takes to make the industry whole. In other words, keep the racing going, keep the purses as good as you can keep them, run the races on time, pay those purses out to these horsemen because that permeates throughout the industry, and we'll make it up later. We're dependent on live attendance, and not having those fans here makes the experience of racing for the few people that are here less. I mean, I've been here a lot of days when horses get cheered all the way down the racetrack, get applauded when they come back to the winner's circle, and just having that whole experience is enhanced by having a stadium full of people. And it doesn't happen at all the racetracks around the country. I model Ruidoso Downs after Saratoga and Keeneland. We have the best racing, we have the best horse sales, and we have great fans with a town that's dedicated to that purpose.